Came around, it was quite a long time ago, as you know. I was working at Nelvana, and I was doing something for an animated series called Strawberry Shortcake. Did anybody ever watch? Did you watched it too? Oh goodness.
I didn't.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, there you go. Time passes, doesn't it?
But I was 25.
Of course, because it's just aimed at 25-year-olds, you know that. I was actually, I did a whole bunch of little parts in Strawberry Shortcake, and then my favorite part was the part called The Berry Princess. So she came around once or twice, so that was wonderful. And then one day, one of the directors who was working at Nelvana said, if there are any females who would like to try to do male voices, we're having an open audition. So I went into a kind of an open casting call, because at that point, there weren't very many women doing little boy parts. So they thought that if your voice was a little bit husky, that maybe you could do a little boy and it would work out. So that was the very first time, because I did actually get the part of Chat Bear, who was obviously a little boy. And so that was the very first time that I did that. And it was really interesting because nowadays, they prefer, when they're doing parts that require a little boy or a little girl, to get a real little boy or a real little girl. 8 or 9 or 10 years old, if they can, read the script. But in those days, they, for time's sake, they just, kind of wanted to get everything done as expediently as possible. So they would often use older women, or in their 20s or 30s or whatever, to play the parts of little boys. So what they sacrificed maybe in the authentic sound, they were able to at least get the recording done as quickly as possible. So the difference between the director, whoever was at Nelvana at the time, he said to all of us as women, he said, look, you might have a little bit of a husky voice and think that you can do a little boy as easy as pie, but it's not so much the sound of your voice as it is the attack. I'll never forget that. And so he said, a little boy generally has an attack, and I don't mean attack as in, oh, I'm going to get you, but how do you say your lines? Where is it coming from? So a little boy is going to be a little bit more forceful. He's going to push out a little more. Push, I did it, I got a home run. Right, so he's pushing forward with his energy. Whereas a little girl is going to be maybe a little bit more pulled in. So if she got a home run, unless you were really a tomboy and she only ever heard little boys around her all the time, she might go, I did it, I got a home run. But it's not going to be, I did it, I got a home run. You see, can you hear the difference with the little boy energy? So nowadays, as I said, they'll get mostly real little boys who don't have to pay mortgages, and it's not fair. But anyway, they'll get real little boys to play these parts, and they'll do them absolutely brilliantly, because it's very difficult to, sometimes a real child has a definite rhythm or lack of rhythm when they're reading or when they're talking. So, sometimes, there's like a pause that sort of happens when you're little. You see what I'm saying? It's more choppy. It's got a different sort of rhythm, whereas an adult is way smoother. Hello, glad you could join us. Hi.
Susan, to add to that, yesterday I was talking about how Susan had come into our class, my class in theater school, and I had been taking down every word she said and everything. And one of the things that you said then, because I still remember it 8,000 years later, is exactly along those lines. And the way you put it at that point was, little boys don't care, and girls care. So girls, like, are you okay? They're sort of like, oh, are you okay? And a boy will be like, are you okay? Like, they don't care. They're just like, I'm asking you the question. I'm getting it out now. Are you okay? I don't care. Yeah. And the girls do. It comes from their heart.
Do you always leave like that?